This podcast is advice.
Español, sí. You volleyball? What? You took care of volleyball? Yeah, let's do volleyball. Yeah, you want? You play here? How are you gonna play? There's a conch over there. It's a conch. Ready? Second.
This podcast is advice to an angry wife, and it's not poetry reading, but would be poetry of tukaram from Tuka says, and it says, advice to an angry wife. Advice to an angry wife, quote, advice to an angry wife, 1, quote, why me? This man renounces everything about me. Has he lost all sense of pleasure then? He seems to be visited by all the thrills of life, and I'm left cheated of all I had. Whose wife am I supposed to be? Work my ass off for his family. What can I feed these starving children? They are so hungry they could eat me. Why don't they die? That would take care of them. Quote, he wouldn't let a thing remain in this house. He hasn't left me even a lump of cow's fit, or I can plaster my mud floor with. Says Tuka, the stupid bitch works too hard and goes on groaning without pausing to think. Tukaram says, Tuka, page 42, translated by Dilip Chetra. Advice to an angry wife, too. Quote, a sack full of grain is delivered at our door, but this bastard won't let his own children eat. Quote, he distributes it to the whole town. I suspect he himself eats it too, unquote. Says Tuka, you stupid bitch, don't you understand that the deeds of the past can never be stored? Page 43. Advice to an angry wife 3. Quote, now there's nothing left for you to eat. Will you eat your own children? My husband is God crazy. Quote, see how he beats his own head. See how he wears garlands. He has stopped minding his shop. Quote, his own belly is full. All the rest of us must starve. Quote, look at him striking cymbals and opening his grotesque mouth to sing to his God in his shrine. Says Tuka, be patient, my woman. This is only the beginning. Advice to angry wife 4. Quote, good that he's gone away today. I've got all I want. Quote, now I can eat all the bread and peas, with or without gravy. Quote, I am tired of shooting off my mouth at this stone-deaf man, unquote. Says Tuka, my wife just loves to curse me. Advice to an angry wife 5. Quote, he can't stand the idea of work. He is used to getting free meals. Quote, as soon as he wakes, he starts to sing. All hell breaks loose after that. These fellows are the living dead. They have no conscience to prick. They've turned a blind eye to their families. They have deserted their homes. Their wives twist and turn for them while they crush their lives with a stone. Says Tuka, that's a good one, my wife. Here, I've written it down. Advice to an angry wife 6. Pendarang, the noble collector of revenue, gives us our share of what we reap. He asks us to repay 70% of what we've owned in the past. We've so far cleared only 10%. Sitting on a cot in our living room, he points to our position on the storage bin, pots and pans, the cattle we own. If I bargain and argue with him, he keeps his cool. He says, quote, just pay up all your dues and what you reap will be all yours, unquote. Says Tuka, my dear wife, what shall I do? I don't know where to hide without paying my dues. Advice to angry wife 7. I think about it, then realize that after this is his God kingdom, who would protect me from him? Where else can we go to escape him? The front yard is wide open and the backyard too, and one stable so cow sheds can't be hiding. This henchman adjacent where we go. I kick myself for becoming one of his sharecroppers. Now I can never get out of his clutches. Says Tuka, it cannot be helped. One has to remain here and live on his terms, not his terms now. Advice to angry wife number 8. What can I do? It's my destiny catching up with me. He gave me love. Who gave me a conscience? Nobody can say that this was my own doing. It was God's order. He freed me from bondage and set me abroad as a beggar. Yet he continues to stalk me. He freed me from bondage and set me abroad as a beggar. And yet he continues to stalk me. This God made me drink water from the dried shell of food and forced me to live on the leaves of plants growing wild. Says Tuka, I am perfectly aware that he has no trace of kindness in him, and he's going to lick me clean. Says Tuka, I'm perfectly aware that he has no trace of kindness in him. He is going to lick me clean. Advice to angry wife. Number 9. Good people will have a great regard for you, and the world will view you with growing respect. Think of your cattle as dead, and your pets and pants as stolen by a thief. Think of your children as though they were never born. Give up all desires and make your mind hard as Indra's warhead, and spit out all mean pleasures and receive pure bliss. Says Tuka, you will be rid of great turmoil once you break free from the bonds of this world. Advice to angry wife. 10. What gives me the strength to spurn all bodily pleasure? Woman, you have become blind to the great fact. Look at me. My hunger and my thirst have been stilled. My disquietude has been calmed as a regime. The wealth that people prize more than their life makes less sense to me now than a piece of gravel. All good people are my kin, and my love of companionship equals my love soul to being one with all is being beyond all bounds. Says Tuka. And the prang is with us to enjoy and to suffer. So he's tukaram. It's a book on plastics. Tukaram says tukai. Tukaram classics. Translated to Chicha. Tukaram is 17th century Bhakti poet and mystic is regarded as many as the greatest poet in the Marathi language. Tukaram was born in 1608 in Tulakas. Sutra family received self-control convincing himself to the devastating famine of 1629, in which he lost his first wife, made him withdraw from normal life and turn to religion. However, his writing and singing in praise of Vital is too extravagant. It was unacceptable to the Brahmins who took religion to be their oppressor. Consequently, he was forced to drown his entire work in a river, but a miracle took place and his work was restored to him intact. Tukaram became part of the Bhakti movement, which was the middle way between the extremes of Brahmanism on the one hand and the Gop religion on the other hand. In this phase of his life, he wrote nearly 5,000 poems until his mysterious disappearance at the age of 41. This selection brings together the best of Tukaram's poems. In them, the poet's fame expresses the spiritual anguish of modern man, anticipated by him centuries ago. In them, the poet's saint expresses the spiritual anguish of modern man, anticipated by him centuries ago. It is this aspect of his work which establishes him as the first truly modern Marathi poet. The cover shows Ragnar Alvin by original Tukaram manuscript at the Dehi cover. Oh, okay. Those were letters to Tukaram as advice to my angry wife. These are poems from Rumble. These are poems posted on David Smith too. Read by the author, or rumbled, or rumble. Oh, they still rumble. Yeah. So this one is called The Rumble. It's from David. It's from 2018. The rumbling of the powers that be above the monsters, sound current roaring, in the middle of the mind, human below the serpent fire. Thousand snakeheads twisting, bring on the journey. Will it end in tragedy or comedy? Oh my pet sight, come listen. Come listen to the sweet music. Come up and twist your head. Come dance to it tune. Dance with the snake. Dance the dance of death. Do the tango. Let's all dance together. Come up and meet us. Pierce the gateway. Show me your power. I will shake my heart. Satan also begins to rumble. What is this outrage, rumble trapper? I transmit words across the universe, and our clouds burst with raining nectar. It pushes them out. The Big Bang of Southbound has already happened. Begin the contraction on. Transmit the fireworks back to Satnam at the end of the universe. Our satsang has begun. Reversing the expansion. Guru Nanak presides. Guru Granth is the lesson and Gurdwani is the music. Wow. This is quite a poem. It's similar to the Proverbs of like Yajapita. This isn't from Howard. I know he went down to Howard talking about the snake. Yeah, is this similar to one like what's going on? Well, anyway, I can say the hashtag is undated because it's timeless. Hashtag mind, hashtag sound parent, hashtag serpent power, hashtag snake, hashtag tango, hashtag Simran, hashtag punch shot, hashtag Amritham, hashtag Satnam, hashtag Big Bang, hashtag mantra, hashtag Guru Nanak, hashtag Guru Granth, hashtag Gurdwani. Now, what's going on here? Because you have these French earphones. They actually, these are the ones you like. Curies, Q-U-I-E-S. The French-made Pure Wax. Wow. Why do you buy so many ones? You could put earplugs and you have to hear the rumbling. But you might hear the rumbling in your inner ear. It has the Guru Granth Sahib, and that's the one you read. Yeah, I still have that. What's the question? You're going to give up that book, or don't think so? Pressing is unbelievable. But this poem, I don't know what's in play. He has the marriage of heaven and God, the Proverbs are valid. But this is not necessarily valid. Just because it's a snake, it could just be the queen power. This poem is interesting. It's called The Rumbling of the Powers that be. Above the masters, sound current roaring. In the middle of the mind, illuminating. Below the silver power, thousands of heads twisting. Bring on the drama, good and
your comedy. Yes, yeah, is your life, is your life a tragic or a comedy? Why are you bringing it on? We're going to go right ahead, regardless of whether it's a tragedy or a comedy. Will it end in tragedy or comedy? Oh my, let's make time listen to the sweet music. Yeah, he's saying you can listen to the music of the spirit. Come listen to sweet music. Come up and twist your head. Come dance to a tune. The mind will dance with the snake. Now the mind is dancing with the snake. Dance to dance to death. Actually, the dance of death is a medieval concept that you never think about. It goes as a companion to the concept of the music of the spirits. The dance of death is a whole different dance of the dance of dance, the dance of death. To the tango, let's all dance together. Come up and lead us, pierce the gateway, show me your power.
I will shake my heart. Satan also begins to rumble. What is this outrage, rumbling traffic? Yeah, I wonder if traffic was rumbling at this time. I transmit words across the universe. Above, clouds burst with raining nectar. My heart pushes them out. The Big Bang of Satnam has already happened. Okay. I think that's... He's saying creation happened, and then he's saying begin the contraction. The contraction is like there would be the going back into singularity, going back to the back, expansion going back into God. Transmit the 5 words back to Satnam at the end of the universe. Our satsang has begun. All right, so this is satsang. These podcasts is just satsang. So when you listen to my podcast, you're going to satsang. Okay, our satsang has begun. Reversing the expansion. Now we're reversing expansion. Guru Nanak presides. All right, so he's presiding over the whole thing. And Guru Granth is the lesson, and our lessons in the satsang is the Guru Granth. And Gurbani is the music. Okay. DS Poem, Book 2. But where is Book 2? Book 2 is in. Book 2 is in the shaken heart. That is, Book 2 is the rumbling. What happened? Did you get a gold medal for your poetry or for your mental state? Did you get a gold medal? Well, I thought you were working on tennis. And what's the gold for? Says my mind takes the gold. Oh, you didn't say gold medal. You just said. But then you say my mind takes the gold medal. Oh. Did it take it? Huh. Well, okay, so we figured out the date here. We could call this February Poems of 2018. And this one is February 24th, 2018. This is when I got a gold medal. Okay. In your mind, your snake may have taken it. He grabbed it, yeah, and while you were reading some other poet who's as corrupt as William Blake, you must have been reading Walt Whitman. And yeah, we know a lot of people don't approve of those 2 characters. And Some people don't even approve of your character. No. But I still got the gold medal. My mind takes the gold medal. Poem. For so many years, I practiced with regular, fastidious care. I trained my mind with daily repetition. I weeded out all detrimental influences. I studied and watched. I prayed and dreamed. Then my mind discovered there was tremendous energy in there and took to the practice. Oh, I see what happened. Your mind got interested in. You're saying your mind discovered there was tremendous energy in there and took to the practice? Yeah, my mind took a liking to meditation. It then exhibited such concentrated force, it pushed me aside. Whoa. It pushed me aside? In the end, I thought careful control of my choices would lead to total freedom. Yeah, you still believe that. Careful control of your choices would lead to total freedom. You're still seeking total freedom, I think. Wow. In the end, I thought careful control of my choices would lead to total freedom, but my mind ended up taking the gold medal, leaving me with none. Oh my God. Oh, I see what happened. Your mind took the gold medal and you didn't get a medal. Oh my God. But maybe I could have the silver at least. In search of enlightenment, you orbit a black hole, eventually falling in. Oh. You orbited a black hole. Oh, well, oh, I get it, because these are poems of annihilation, and you were orbiting annihilation, I suppose. And you fell in, and your mind took the gold medal. Yeah. Well, I'd have to, if my mind helped me to meditate, maybe that's a sacrifice I have to make, I guess. I have to let the mind have the gold medal, and I would have to take the silver. And you have a picture of two figure skater girls. They're actually very pretty. And that one gets the gold medal, and the other the silver. It says the world plays catch up as Russian women figures rule figure skating. The gold medalist Alena Sakitova left in the Olympic athletes of Russia. Zagitova triumphs on strength of stunning free skate. Wow. So what you're saying is she took the gold medal and not you, and your mind is just confused. And you didn't get any medals. All you did was sit and watch TV. Yeah. So if you sat and watched TV, this is all fake news that you got the gold medal and you didn't really. Yeah. For so many years, I practiced with regular, fastidious care. I trained my mind with daily repetition. I weeded out all detrimental influences. I studied and watched. I prayed and dreamed. Then my mind discovered there was tremendous energy in there and took to the practice. It then exhibited such concentrated force it pushed me aside. In the end, I thought careful control of my choices would lead to total freedom. But my mind ended up taking the gold medal, leaving me with none. But maybe I could have the silver at least. In search of enlightenment, you orbit a black hole, eventually falling in.
You're here. But
So that's the process of reaching enlightenment, I suppose. You lost. You didn't. Your mind took the gold medal. Yeah.
Nice to see you.
And then it
I'll see you
has
around.
Okay.
44 leaves of grass, Walt Whitman. Wow, is that you having taken the gold medal? Or you didn't get the gold? That's you not getting the gold medal, yeah. Okay. It is time to explain myself. This is Walt Whitman, actually. It is time to explain myself. Let us stand up. What is known, I strip away. I launch all men and women forward with me into the unknown. The clock indicates the moment. But what does eternity indicate? We have thus far exhausted trillions of winters and summers. There are trillions ahead, and trillions ahead of them. Births have brought us richness and variety, and other births will bring us richness and variety. I do not call one greater or one smaller. That which fills its period and place is equal to any. Were mankind murderous or jealous upon you, my brother, my sister, I am sorry for you. They are not murderous or jealous upon me. All have been gentle with me. I keep no account with lamentation. What have I to do with lamentation? I am an acme of things accomplished, and I am closer of things to be. Oh, is that when your mind took the gold medal? He says, I am an acme of things accomplished, and I am closer of things to be. My feet strike an apex of the apices of the stairs. On every step, bunches of ages and larger bunches between the steps. All the world duly traveled, and still I mount and mount. Rise after rise, bow the fat phantoms behind me. Far down, I see the huge first nothing. Far down, I see the huge first nothing. I know I was even there. I waited unseen and always and slept through the lethargic mist and took my time and took my hurt. Took no hurt from the fated carbon. Long I was hugged close, long and long. Immense have been the preparations for me, faithful and friendly, the arms that have helped me. Cycles ferried my cradle, rowing and rowing like cheerful boatmen from room to me. Stars kept aside in their own rings. They sent influences to look after what was to hold me. Before I was born out of my mother, generations guided me. My embryo has never been torpid. Nothing could overlay it. Or at the nebula colored to an orb, the long, slow strata piled to rest it on. Vast vegetables gave it sustenance. You had vast vegetables, gave you sustenance. Monstrous sorrows transported it in their mouths and deposited it with care. All forces have been steadily employed to complete and delight me. Now on this spot I stand with my robust soul. All forces have been steadily employed to complete and delight me. Now on this spot I stand with my robust soul. 45. O span of youth, ever pushed elasticity, O manhood, balanced forward and full, my lovers suffocate me, crowding my lips thick in the borders of my skin, jostling me through streets and public halls, coming naked to me at night, crying by day, ahoy, come from the rocks of the river, swinging and chirping over my head, calling my name from flower beds, vines, tangled underbrush, lighting on every moment of my life, blessing my body with soft balsamic pulses, noiselessly passing handfuls out of their hearts and giving them to mine. Old age superbly rising, O welcome, ineffable grace of dying days. Every condition promulgates not only itself, it promulgates what grows after and out of itself, and the dark harsh promulgates as much as any. I open my scuttle at night and see the forest sprinkled with storms, and all I see multiplied as high as I can cipher it, but the rim of farthest stars. Wider and wider they spread, expanding, always expanding, outward, outward, and forever outward. My son has his son, and around him obediently wheels. He joins with his partners, a group of superior circuit, and the greater sets follow, making specks of the greatest inside them. There is no stoppage, and never can be stoppage. If I, you, and the worlds, and all beneath or upon their surfaces, were this moment reduced back to a pallid float, I would not avail in the long run. We should surely bring up again where we now stand, and surely go as much farther, and then farther and farther. A few quadrillions of eras and a few octillions of cubic leagues do not hazard the span and make it impatient. They are but parts, so anything is but a part. See, ever so far, there is limitless space outside of that. Count ever so much, there is limited time after that. My rendezvous is appointed. It is certain. The Lord will be there, and wait till I come on perfect terms. Okay. There's a rendezvous. My rendezvous view is appointed, it is certain. The Lord will be there, and wait till I come on perfect terms. The great camerado, the lover true, for whom I pine, will be there. 45. I know I have the best of time and space and was never measured and never will be measured. I tramp a perpetual journey, come listen all. My signs are a rainproof coat, good shoes, and a staff cut from the woods. No friend of mine takes his ease in my chair. I have no chair, no church, no philosophy. I leave no man to a dinner table, library exchange, but each man and each woman of you I lead upon a knoll. My left hand hooking you around the waist, my right hand pointing to the landscapes of continents and the public road. Not I, not anyone else can travel that road for you. You must travel it for yourself. It is not far, it is within reach. Perhaps you have been on it since you were born and did not know. Perhaps it is everywhere, on water and on land. God, how long is this? Are you reading the entire Leaves of Grass? Shoulder your duds, dear son, and I will mine, and let us hasten forth wonderful cities and free nations we shall fetch as we go. If you tire, give me both burdens at rest, and chuff off your hand and not your hip, and in due time you shall repay the same service to me, for after we start, we never lie by again. This day before dawn I ascended to a hill and looked at the crowded heaven. And I said to my spirit, when we become the enfolders of those orbs and the pleasure and knowledge of everything, in them shall we be filled and satisfied then. And my spirit said, no, we but level that cliff to pass and continue beyond. You are also asking me questions, and I hear you. I answer that I cannot answer. You must find out for yourself. Sit a while, dear son. Here are biscuits to eat, and here is milk to drink. But as soon as you sleep and renew yourself in sweet clothes, I kiss you with a goodbye kiss and open the gate where your egress hence. Long enough have you dreamed contemptible dreams. Now I wash the gum from your eyes. You must habit yourself to the dazzle of the light and of every moment of your life. Long have you timidly waited, holding a plank by the shore. Now I will you to be a bold swimmer, to jump off in the mist of the sea, rise again, nod to me, shout and laughingly dash with your hair. 47. I am the teacher of athletes, or tennis players, or volleyball players. I am the teacher of athletes. He that by me spreads a wider breast than my own proves the width of my own. He most honors my style, who learns under it to destroy the teacher. Wow. Well, leaves the grass will hit. Wow, to destroy the teacher? He's the teacher of athletes. Oh, and then you have something about the gold medal. How are we to understand this? You made this too complicated because your mind took the gold medal.
What happened?
If you became too unmaterialistic, maybe you have a problem when you need a meditation addiction class. If you just became maybe too withdrawn, yeah, maybe you're too anti-materialistic. Yeah. So you need a meditation addiction class. Or you could be addicted to the poems, to my poems, or addicted to mystical poetry. So you need an addiction class, maybe. I'm reading in March poems of David Smith in March 2018. The poetry on the Wix blog, the David Smith 208. Yeah, what's it say? Okay, about this class. This is called March 29th. Meditation addiction class. At our meditation addiction class, we talk about how we can increase our addiction, haha. Some people with spunk, plunk, and courage take to meditation. Many of them have a zeal and a passion, which has become the new fashion. Even so, if you want to conquer inner space, you still have to deal with the human race. Our opioid crisis is sweet and mellow and turns you into a pleasant fellow. Wow, that's kind of cute. So you're increasing your addiction on purpose, yeah. At our meditation addiction class, we talk about how we can increase our addiction. Haha, some people with spunk, plunk, and courage take to meditation. Many of them have a zeal and a passion, which has become the new fashion. Even so, if you want to conquer inner space, you still have to deal with the human race. Our opioid crisis is sweet and mellow, and turns you into a pleasant fellow. Wow, that's rhyming poems. Does that poem rhyme mostly? Yeah, it's a rhyming. Rhyming is more pleasant. So this one, that is if you're in meditation addiction class. So if you get addicted, do you like end up being a Zen monk, or what happens? I don't understand what this addiction you have. Yeah. The next poem says, Zen monks tend to remain Zen monks. Poem. Zen monks tend to remain Zen monks. Non-materialism is not marginally better. It is vastly superior by a factor of 1 trillion. Mysticism is not part of any ism. The spiritual charging of a 6-hour meditation is way beyond counting. It could last 6 months duration. So 6 hours benefits 4,320. As you can see, that is very many. This kind of stuff can drive a mathematician crazy because he assumes that it's just fluff. The dismal scientists only count the money. Now, if you take up 6 hours a day for 6 months, what will be the result? Stop thinking of going on a commercial meditation retreat. This life is one long retreat, so go to that one. And what is the result of 6 hours a day for 6 months? The statistical result is enlightenment. But how do you define enlightenment? Unquote, unquote, quote, unquote, unquote, enlightenment, unquote, is defined as the tendency to want to continue meditating 6 hours or more for the rest of your life. They start sitting for 6 hours just to be great, and 2 more for the people. What? They start sitting for 6 hours just to be great, and 2 more for the people. The Zen master sits at 3 a.m. to 9 and then eats at 11. By 7 p.m. his purity is re-manifested, and he then gives an evening session. March 28th. Oh. We're going to give an evening session of the podcast. Zen. So because, why? Because he does an evening session, because Zen monks tend to remain Zen monks. This next poem includes something from my childhood. What happened to this? First, there's a poem. It's called Basho Poetry. And it says a poem by Basho reminded me of my uncle Bob Gray. So it reminds me of my uncle. The poem goes, against the wooden floor, I threw a silver glazed cup, breaking it to pieces. And look now, the slender curve of your sword hath drawn Basho. I wrote the following poem to commemorate the occasion. It happened when I was 8, about 8. My Aunt Roberta said, these cups will not break. But my Uncle Bob said they would not last, and he threw one across the room. When I saw it smash on the floor, that was when I became an iconoclast. It's T.S. poem, March 26, 2018. It's iconoclastic. It's would be an iconoclastic poem. Okay. Oh, Aunt Roberta. Yeah. Does that commemorate it? Yeah. It's Basho poetry. I'm not sure this is a poem, but it's about something. It's about a mystic, a malamat mystic. M-A-L-A-M-A-T, mystic, to a malamat mystic. It is good to obtain a false conviction. It is called the way of blame. In the article, it says something article. And it says, Jesus says the falsely accused shall inherit the kingdom of heaven. Blame has a very positive effect on the spirit because there is safety in derision, as Yeats understood. Blame is positive. Jesus says the falsely accused shall inherit the kingdom of heaven. Where does he say that? We should look that up. In the teachings of Ahmed Ghazali, to which many of Hafid's doctrines are traceable, the human spirit can abandon the temporal realm only if and when one is subjected to public blame and abuse. Page 77. The Angels Knocking on the Tavern Door by Robert Bly and Louison. The malamat tradition was developed in Nicephore during the 11th century. Followers of the Malamati tradition later developed into separate Kalandari Sufi orders, which, under the leadership of Jamal al-Din Shawi, became scattered all over Egypt, Libya, Turkey, Persia, and India. Quran Shahi mentions 10 different Malamati doctrines espoused by Hafiz. See Ahmed Kara Mustafi, God's unruly friends. Dervish groups in the Islamic later middle period. Salt Lake City, University of Utah Press, 1994, page 1090. The best summary of the underlying ideals of Malamati spirituality by a Western writer comes from Ralph Waldo Emerson from his essay on compensation. Quote, the wise man throws himself on the side of his assailants. It is more in his interest than it is in theirs to find his weak point. The wound cauterizes and falls off from him like a dead skin. When they with their triumph blow, he has passed into invulnerable. He has passed on invulnerable. Blame is safer than praise. I hate to be defended in a newspaper. As long as all that is said against me, I feel a certain assurance of success. But as soon as honeyed words of praise are spoken to me, I feel as one that lies unprotected before his enemies. In general, every evil to which we do not succumb is a benefactor. So is it beneficial to be falsely accused? As into a malamat mystic is good to obtain a false conviction. The real secret to dieting is mystical. Oh, really? What's the secret? You say that the real secret to dieting is mystical. Yeah. Well, you could find this on the blog. Yeah. It says the real secret to dieting I have not said. After deep and long-term meditation, one should have complete satisfaction. If one starts a day in complete fulfillment, it is so much easier to eat without excess. Simple celery is extreme bliss. Yeah, I was taking cutting celery and eating it. It's strange that the kids were wanting pieces of the celery, and I didn't know that they would come after me for my celery. Simple celery is extreme bliss, so there is little conflict. You eat rationally, in moderation, without any temptation. You don't need the body's sources of pleasure. There's a quotation from Jonathan Start, quote, I travel in this world like a bee in a jar, but don't listen to my woeful buzzing. My house is filled with honey, unquote. Rumi, 1426, 123. Then it says, O precious soul, this longing will make you pure. O sacred body, this longing will make you thin. Looks like line 4, 566, 112, Rumi, page 115. Jonathan Starr. Must be the writer or the translator of Rumi. Oh, this longing will make you thin. Oh, you get skinny. This longing will make you thin. because the real secret to dieting is Do you get sentimental in the evening, like when you come home, and like, what do you have a desire to meditate again? And I guess you should eat a big dinner. Oh, you stopped eating dinners, man. Yeah, if we're on one meal a day. What's his poem say? March. Well, these are March poems of 2018. 2018. By about 7, I begin to miss heaven. What's a hashtag poem? Where's the hashtag? It says, by about 7, I begin to miss heaven. Despite a long morning meditation, the bliss begins to wear off. I am pleased to have gained self-oblivion, but I feel I must return without hesitation. Like my iPhone, my soul needs recharged. In 12 hours, the light begins to fade. The weeds start to go back. Like an addiction, a sweet addiction, it becomes something I need. So at about 7, I must sit again. And if I sit in the evening, then my morning meditation gets better. And a long morning meditation makes the evenings better. Which better is something that the mind can't figure out. It is yet another example of how the mind is useless at knowing anything. Okay. Yeah, well, your mind is pretty useless at knowing anything, so you should speak for yourself. Yeah. It doesn't know anything, hardly. The flesh of my body knows more than me. Yeah, there's actually something from interesting point from Blake where he rejects the dichotomy of the flesh and the body when the soul separated and stuff. You have to read from William Blake that poem, The Flesh of Heaven and Hell. The flesh of my body knows more than me. The key to the instant on third eye is never turn it off. Oh, interesting point. Don't turn it off. Yeah, if you want something to keep burning, just leave it on, I guess. When do you leave on? The key to the instant on third eye is never turn it off. Yeah, this is an interesting poem, and you read the poem again. Does that mean you like it? By about 7, I begin to miss heaven. Despite a long morning meditation, the bliss begins to wear off. I am pleased to have gained a self-oblivion, but I feel I must return without hesitation. Like my iPhone, my soul needs recharged. Yeah, my old iPhone, like an iPhone 6, the battery got worse and worse and worse. And it barely got it made it to 7. It needed constant charging. It was like eventually it was on an external battery, like life support. Batteries don't hold up. In 12 hours, the light begins to fade, the weeds start to grow back. Like an addiction, a sweet addiction, it becomes something I need. So at about a 7, I must, are you going to do this? Have you been meditating at 7 or sometime in the evening? When you miss 7. Yeah, it's more able to when you're on a 1 meal a day diet and you're eating say 2 o'clock in the afternoon, probably 7. You're free to go, yeah. So at about 7, I must sit again. If I sit in the evening, then my morning meditation gets better, and the long morning meditation makes the evenings better, which that is making which better is something that the mind can't figure out. It is yet another example of how the mind is useless at knowing anything. The flesh of my body knows more than me. The key to the instant on third eye is never turn it off. That is if you want it to be working by about 7, I begin to be Miss Heaven. Yeah, in the poem I said, my flesh of my body